Hey friends. I I'm having an interesting um, experience right now because there's an element of what is showing up that really feels like it's redefining who I am. I've spoken over the last couple of weeks since I went into my I had a hernia surgery about a little over a week ago, week and a half, and going into that and coming out of that, I knew that I was going to go through a threshold of some kind. And there's an interesting thing that happens to me when I gain clarity. And it's something that I have actually observed before. And I think I'm bringing it up now because I think I'm sensing something that may have sabotaged me in the past. Because as I gain clarity about things in my life, my direction, my sense of what I can do, sense of what I want to do, sense of value, sense of knowing what I bring. As that happens, as that clarity sinks in, I sometimes get a feeling of impatience or quick to anger, quick to snap at the people around me, usually it doesn't manifest itself in like a way that hopefully is too visible to people other than my nearest and dearest. We always take this stuff out on the people closest to us. But I go into a mode where I get it's like I'm impatient with the world. I'm impatient with the world and everybody in it. And that's a kind of a scary feeling because it sort of implies or it indicates to me that clarity in my own self somehow involves dissatisfaction with the state of things as they are or the state of other people as they are. And I think, as you can hopefully maybe tell from the way I'm saying this, this is something that I don't obviously do this on purpose. I don't do this consciously. It's almost like a side effect or an attendant phenomenon that seems to correlate with this sense of greater clarity in myself. And it's a little bit scary because it's like, well, there's part of me that's like, I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to have that attitude towards the world or towards other people. But there's also part of me right now that's seeing this and saying, it's true that I don't want to have that attitude towards the world. It's true that I don't want to have that attitude towards other people. And it's also true that, or at least I think there's a good chance that it's true, that out of a desire to be a nice person, I have diminished my own access. I've limited my own access to clarity, to my own, to a kind of clarity within myself. I'm not saying this is like total clarity, because if it were total clarity, it'd probably be maybe not so much, dissatisfaction. But I also think that there's something about sensing the potential for movement, sensing the potential for something greater, that I can only speak for myself, but in my case, it's like, it's almost like I want everybody to get on, not get on board with it, but like I suddenly feel limited by the people around me, not my immediate family. It's like the environment that I'm in. And just to be clear, I don't think that is true. I know that is a kind of mental, I'm playing a trick on myself internally. And what I'm really kind of looking to unearth, the reason why I'm doing a post about this with, as you may be able to tell, really no idea what my conclusion here is. The reason I'm exploring it is because I sense that it is really the case that I have limited my own access to clarity out of a feeling of fear that when I get it, when I start to feel clarity, I become more aggressive in the world. And that I'm somehow, there's a part of me that I don't even think I've ever gone very far enough into it to really know whether it would be destructive. But I sense that it could be destructive. And maybe I have had the experience in earlier life of it becoming destructive. And so I hold back. But that holding back is just soul crushing. That holding back is like limiting myself, limiting what I can think, say, do, accomplish, achieve, so that I'm not aggressive or mean. And when I really look at what I'm feeling in those moments when I wouldn't even, aggressive isn't even the right word, but when I feel this kind of friction between myself and the world, or myself and the social environment that I'm in, the cultural environment that I'm in, I don't feel aggression or anger. I feel a kind of possibility that I'm so anxious to live, not just in myself. There's a part of it that is of course about me wanting my experience, but there's also a part of it that's about seeing possibility for like human consciousness, for humanity, for growth, for life, for wakefulness, for waking up. I mean, I've heard teachers, I don't know actually if this is coming from a teacher or if this is like a composite bit of wisdom that I've somehow put together in my own mind. But feels like as we gain clarity, as we gain in realization, there's a moment when we are still gaining clarity, but before we have fully gained it, fully kind of realized it, where we see this incredible potential, but and what we're really seeing is the possibilities of our own soul, spirit, consciousness to grow, to awaken. But before we're like there, before we get there, there's this moment when we project that possibility onto the world, and we think, instead of saying, I'm not there yet, it's the world that's not there yet. And I wonder if that's some version of what I'm doing. Which of course is an error. I'm locating realization outside myself. I don't think that's how realization works. But that also would explain why an increase in realization, a sort of courageous acts that move us forward, why that might, in my case, why that might uncork a sense of, everybody move, let's do this already. You know? So this is an interesting experience. And I'm, there's part of me there's a part of me that feels like I'm treading right on the edge of something that I could easily feel shame about. If I say this in a certain way, or if I out myself with the way that I judge people, or the way that I consider my perspective to be better than other people's. If I admit that to myself, and God knows if I admit that out loud, I sense judgment. I sense the presence, like right around the corner lies a bunch of judgment on me that would cause me to feel shame, and I would kind of hunker back down again and just not want to stick my neck out again, not want to, and I think, and in some ways I think that's actually kind of what I've done, is flirt with realization and clarity, but not ever, but this phenomenon has kind of suppressed things. And what I know is I can't continue like this. It's not healthy. I've got to go there. And I want to acknowledge and I want to be clear with myself that anger at the world or frustration with the world is not the same thing as realization. And one step beyond that, I've got to let myself, I don't have to let myself, run rampant with these thoughts or behave in a way that's not appropriate or that's not loving. But I also can't judge myself too harshly for having these feelings, because if I do that, I could send them underground again. I could sort of I could just duck down below the level of them and be like, well, that's too much. Me being a bad person is too high a price to pay for realization. I don't want to pay that price. I'd rather be a good person and have less clarity than risk being a bad person, but own my vision. And I've opted for the former for I think quite a bit of time. So I need to kind of find a way to take that risk while at the same time infusing myself and the whole process with love and with understanding, allowing myself to be where I am, also allowing myself to see where I am in error and acknowledge that. So it's an interesting time, all right. But that's where I am today, folks. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.